superhero movies are literally everywhere, and with some really good superhero movies, even the great ones, there's gonna be bound to be some cliches. And today we're gonna go over some of the biggest cliches in superhero movies that at least they should die. And before I give you guys my thoughts, what are some of your least favorite, or I guess favorite, superhero cliches that you think should either keep going, they should die? What do you think of it? I would love to all know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. Like this video as well. Also, really does help out this channel a ton. So without further ado, let's get into one of the biggest problems with superhero cliches. One of them, a massive portal in the sky. You know this was coming. If we're talking about the Avengers, if we're talking about Suicide Squad, if we're talking about a whole bunch of other films that do this, if we're talking about Justice League, there's so many films that add this big blue beam in the sky where there's a different worldly enemy coming down, and our superheroes, or in Suicide Squad's case, supervillains, have to take him out. And this cliche has been going on since the first Avenger, and it's not a cliche. It was kind of cool at first, sky beams, how exciting. But now it's just dull, and it really should die out. It doesn't look pleasing. It doesn't add anything to the story besides, oh, look, there's a big, massive beam in the sky where there's different aliens or creatures coming out, and it doesn't really work. Another thing is characters dying and then not dying, or characters dying and then coming back and they're not themselves. This is a cliche that's not just been going through comic book movies, that has just been going through so many films. One of my biggest examples is Superman in Justice League. He comes back, but oh no, he's not himself for about 5 minutes. And it doesn't really add anything, not just to that film, but all the films that do this. There's so many different superhero movies and TV shows that do this massive cliche. Oh no, they're really, really dead. But gotcha, they're not actually dead. And it just makes it just doesn't work for me. And it kind of just sours the experience of a film watching it. And it's not really exciting. Next up, this kind of goes with the blue big sky, a big final battle where there's a whole bunch of aliens and creatures, and the heroes have to fight up and team up. This is something that's been dying out for quite a bit over the years, and I really do like that there's different, and they're doing different and new creative things. I don't mean to crap on the Avengers. I really love the first Avengers, but that really did start that trend. And the first Avengers, though, I would kind of give it a pass because that was back when we weren't used to seeing that in every single summer blockbuster. That was when we were used to just seeing. We didn't see anything like that massive scale that we saw in the Avengers, and it was just big. We saw aliens, we saw superheroes. But when we got to the second Avengers, I will give it a pass for Avengers Infinity War and Endgame because they did different things with it. But also Justice League, Batman, Superman, Man of Steel, these big CGI battles where people punch each other for an hour, it seems like, and it just doesn't add anything. Shazam did something like this as well, and I probably want to give Shazam a bit of a pass because it kind of made fun of it, but I can't really give it a full pass because while it did make fun of it, it also kind of it was still a cliche final act. Wonder Woman has the most of it because that is easily one of the better DCEU films, I feel. And when it has that cliche final battle, and there's this, of course, a blue beam in the sky, and it just didn't really work for me, and cliches in that film also really don't. Next up, jokes that don't really need to be there. A lot of superhero films nowadays, especially with the massive success of the MCU, a lot of superhero movies are just trying to have these big jokes and these big one-liners, and sometimes even in the MCU they don't work. When you, like in Avengers Infinity War, the opening is a very dark and very cold opening, but then Thor's making jokes, and I'm like, that's not really a good time to make jokes, man. You're getting like your head is getting squished by Thanos here.
I am. You talk too much.
And I don't think it's a really good time to make a joke. And I think there's a lot of superhero films, especially Justice League, when it went from two pretty dark and serious films with Man of Steel, Batman, Superman, and heck, even if you want to count Suicide Squad in the mix, which is part of the universe, there was just so many jokes and there were so many like random jokes, especially from The Flash. I found none of his lines to be funny. They were just quite annoying. A lot of the jokes just felt like they were added there in a last minute. Like, okay, this scene is too dark, let's add in a joke, and it just doesn't really work for me in the long run. And there's so many times that I just don't really like it that much. There's so many other superhero movie cliches, But I feel like they've been fixing these superhero cliches a lot. And there's some really good superhero cliches that I think should keep on going. But there is some really bad superhero cliches that should just stop. So those were my thoughts on some superhero cliches that just should stop. What do you think of these? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. You guys can like this video if you guys liked it. Really does help out this channel a ton. You guys can also subscribe if you're new to the channel. Hit that post notification bell so you guys never miss when I upload another video. You guys can check out my Instagram at general_Daniel77. You guys can also check out my podcast, the Two Peas in a Pop podcast. I do every single Tuesday morning. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. General out.